And welcome, everybody. Today we're going to be introducing ourselves to the Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen box set brick by Wizkids. Yeah, this is going to be my first time actually unboxing a whole brick of these things, so buckle up and let's go through these one by one. Now, the first one that I open, it has a large miniature. Some of these have large, some of them don't. But this first one is a awesome skeletal rider. This skeletal knight rider is pretty cool. The first time I ever ran into a skeletal knight rider was actually in Barovia when we were playing Curse of Strahd, so this is actually a pretty cool mini for one of those situations. The second one here that I opened actually has a missing limb. I couldn't find it in the bag anywhere. I just either a manufacturer mishap or not, but what you're seeing now though is a second one because I actually got a copy of it. So luckily I wasn't stuck with the broken one. And this happens to be a Ancelon human C. So there's several variations of the humans here. Next up, we have the classic white, which is really neat because the armor on this one is actually amazing. I really enjoyed the armor. There was a bit of paint leakage you can see on the armor and like several places underneath the arms and stuff like that, but other than that, it's not too bad. And the facial expression on this white is actually pretty great. Now we have, oh god, this little shit. This is Becaris. If you're not familiar with the actual story of the Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen, you'll get to know Becaris pretty quickly. This is Becaris the Younger. My team is already having issues with this guy, but he's great. He's great. He's amazing to roleplay. Next up, we have, if I can actually get it out of the package here. This one is a Dragon Army Soldier. Now this one is almost depicted exactly like it's shown in the book, which is really neat. I love the huge spiky shield and the spiky shoulder omplets and all that stuff. The sword is bent, but obviously you can just bend it right back. These things are really flexible, but really cool. First to 49. All right, on to the second box. The second box also had a large miniature in it. You'll come to find out, actually, most of these do. And this one is one of my favorites. This thing is awesome looking. Just look at that marrow. So not only is it highly detailed, but the paint job on it is phenomenal. I love the fluorescent scaling and everything like that. And the weapon is badass. Now this is one of my absolute favorites of the whole pack. This one is a Baz Draconian. The detail on this thing, the armor, the sword, the face, the whole thing. This is like a perfect mini minus like 1 or 2 paint leaks. These is just my favorite, my absolute favorite. And it's stout and it's solid. Now this next one is really cool. Apparently this one's a rare one, so this is pretty neat to actually grab it. But look at that screaming face and the kind of semi-transparent hair to kind of signify the magic. Super cool. Verstenkern or Worstenkern? Not exactly sure how to pronounce it though. It looks like we got our first double here as I pick up another white. On to the next box. And again, like I said, most of these had a large in them, but some of them will come without them. So if you end up getting just a singular pack, don't be surprised if you don't get one of these larges. And this one is a pretty neat one. It's a unique mold and it's taken directly from the book. If you see the artwork in the book, you'll actually see this is exactly how it's portrayed. This is the Draconian Army Ogre. And then next we have your basic skeleton. What army isn't complete without your basic skeleton enemy? So this one had a bit of a Michael Jackson lean to it, but you know, you can just fix that with a little pushing there, here and there. These things, like I said, they're pretty easy to move around. This one was great. I love this one. It's so cute. Tiny itty bitty little gnome. And these are the Nevermind gnomes from Kryn, the actual Dragonlance story. This one is really decently painted, and for as tiny as it is, it looks great. On to the next box, and this one is already going to be a good one, as you can see right off the bat. A strange but also amazing miniature. This one here is straight up just a warhorse, a massive, bulky, chonky little boy. This one is one of my favorites just because it absolutely has like the mass and feel of a giant warhorse. My only thing is I don't know anytime I'm going to be using just a singular warhorse on the grid, but we'll see. Here is that double that I was talking about at the start, the one that didn't have an arm. It's just another Ancelon human. But you can see here the comparison of one not having a bow and one having a bow. Here is another version of an Ancelon human. This one, just a melee fighter of some sort. The paint is really good on this one as well. I really enjoy the look of it overall. And yeah, Ancelon human, you can't have enough of those on the table there. Next up. Now, I love the armor, but the eyes get me every time on this one. Look how goofy those eyes are. But other than that, this is a character straight from the book. This is Caradoc the Knight, and it's a great miniature. It represents the scene that he's in and everything, so you should definitely check that one out in the book before looking at those goofy eyes. Next box, it starts off with a bang. This is an absolutely incredible miniature. You don't get many of these slots anywhere. This is a brood slod, meaning that you got all the little brood worms all over it, which are terrifying. But the paint job, unfortunately, is kind of lacking. It kind of is scraping off in areas, so I might do a repaint on that one. Now this one's pretty neat. This one is actually a purple worm egg, and from what I've seen, it actually got taken out of the book in the final version, but they still have a miniature for it, so why not? Purple worm egg. This one caught me off guard. This is a Kender from Kryn, and the paint scheme immediately makes me think of Robin from Batman and Robin, so but other than that, it looks great. The eyes could use some work, but yeah, Kender. Next up, we have yet another Ancelon human. This one is kind of more of the bardic inspiration, if you will. But God, I love the coat. I love the layering, everything about this one. I really love. I could use this for a playable character, actually. This is a really good one. Ancelon human. On to the next box. And as I said, like these boxes, some of them don't come with larges. So those are the largest for the pack, but this one is just full of smaller ones. So this one is a sea elf. Actually, I think it's like the sea elf leader. Yeah. I got a copy of the human, Ancelon human again, just a small comparison. There were no really differences between the two. So, I mean, there you go, two good humans. Now, this is my absolute favorite. Look at this thing. Look at the armor and look at the shield on this one. The detail of the armor and shield. I'm going to do a repaint of the face and hair, and this is going to be one of my favorite minis of all time. This is Becklin, Knight of Solamnia. If you do your reading of the book, she's extremely important and will be used quite often in my campaign. This here is a great example of something that you can use for pretty much anything. I really enjoy the transparent looking minis. And this one is just another example of one like that. This is a Wraith, but you can use it for pretty much anything that is transparent in your game. This is the Mondo Super Booster. Now, this one here has two giant minis inside of it. And the one thing I didn't want was this Behir. I feel like I have 50 of these things in my inventory. For some reason, everything that comes out has a variation of a Behir in some way, but that's okay. You know, it's just another Behir. It is what it is. Now this one, I could tote all day about this one. It is massive. This thing takes up almost like 5 inches in height. This thing is detailed. to the core. And my favorite thing about it is that the actual like mold lines for this are taken care of in the chest piece. So it actually doesn't like have a big line of demarcation in it. Love that. Love it. Treant Noble. This thing is beautiful. And I put a little gnome there to kind of give you a size reference about how big it is. But this is definitely a great pool. I love this thing so much. And it's heavy. This thing is weighted. Anyways, that's it. So this is my haul for the Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen mystery boxes. And this is the brick set. So the first one I've ever done. If you liked what you saw today, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, follow for more. And yeah, we'll try to do some more of these in the future. I really enjoyed unboxing these, and gosh, just having more minis on the table is always great. So look how big that thing is. I love that one. Anyways, I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.